Taranda versus Jaina.
My sorcery will prevail. Alone give me
But yeah,
strength.
I don't know how popular this deck is in Wild at this point, but when it was good in Standard Legal, it annoyed a lot of people. Even like the Res Priest that constantly resurrects like the Obsidian statue and the taunt that kills an enemy minion. The decks aren't even that strong. It's just annoying to play against. Don't be Quest Mage. Cool. Play him on turn 4. Is this even that good right now? Yeah, sure. I'll play it next turn, and then I will coin out Barnes. The coin will keep it going, and then the next turn I'll palm read. Yeah, I might just play a couple games with this deck, and then switch back to the Warlock deck. I think the Warlock deck's more interesting, but I wanted to give both versions of Yasharaj a shot. And then I actually still have to figure out what I'm doing for N'Zoth tomorrow. I think I'm going to combine both N'Zoths into one deck and try and do some kind of Death Rattle shenanigans. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to try to abuse or what combo I maybe want to try and pull off.
Tonight, a tale of long-lost worlds.
I mean, keep hitting those this game. I kind of want to hit a turn 4 Barnes. Excuse me, I kind of want to hit a turn 4 Barnes into Yasharaj, though. Pretend we're playing in like 2016 again. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that instead of palm reading. Oh, finally got him. Kind of want him to die though. I don't want him to pull things out of the deck. I actually like these spellstones a lot.
Let's see, what do I take?
I think they're bringing them back in this core set, if I'm not mistaken. But it was fun. That, you know, you could slowly rank them up, and you know, early game you might have to play them and they're less effective, or you hold on to them and to get more effective. I like the Warlock one a lot. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're bringing them back with this core set. I do just have 13 damage on board.
What is Eloon's will?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That they added the... Although, it doesn't seem that great, the Death Knight one, surprisingly. If I remember right, it's just give all minions in your hand +1/+1, then 2 and 3 at the upgrades. That's actually pretty nice. If Yasharaj can pull Blood of Cahoon, that'd be great. Let's go face. Yeah, take that for next turn. Okay, that was perfect. But yeah, I remember the Warlock. Obviously, the Priest Spellstone was played. The Warlock Spellstone was nice. Can't remember the other ones. It's been so long. What set were those even from? Oh, Kobolds and Catacombs. Yeah, oh yeah, the Druid one was decent. Hunter one was good. Mage wasn't really played. Paladin wasn't really played. Rogue sometimes saw some play. Shaman, I think, had some meme decks. And Warrior wasn't played. So it's like half of them saw some play. Yeah, that's lethal. We're just steamrolling with this deck. Yeah, it's always nice when they add a certain like mechanic or group of cards, and they actually all see play. Like one example is like Galakron to me. Pretty much every Galakron saw play at some point or another. Another good example is like the Colossus legendaries. I was looking at them recently, and yeah, I think all of them except for was it Ozumat? All of them saw play outside of him, which is nice. The Prime legendaries from back in the day was another one. You know, where you played the one legendary and the Death Rattle shuffled the Prime version into your deck. Pretty much all of those were played at some point or another too. So yeah, obviously they have some mechanics and cards that drop the ball, like we talked about, like Overkill and Frenzy and Honorable Kill and stuff. But it always feels good when they have a home run like that.
I see you've brought guests.
So time will tell if we have the same experience with this expansion coming out next month or not. Never sure which of these I should play first. What to copy first? What Shadow Essence? Yeah, I'm very curious how the meta's gonna be shaken up. I'm very curious how the meta's gonna be shaken up with the new core set, because they're bringing back some cards I was really surprised about. Like the fact that they're bringing back Charge is super surprising to me, because the whole reason they took Leroy and Charge out of the game is because it was like warping the game, right? So the fact that they apparently feel confident enough bringing it back. I don't think I need this. The fact that they're apparently okay, I get it back anyways. The fact that they're apparently confident enough to bring it back into the game, like, I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe they're just more okay having OTK decks in the game at this point. Yeah, exactly, like you said. Back in the day when they took Leroy out, you know, OTK decks from hand outside of like Leroy shenanigans weren't very common. And I think over time they've warmed up to being okay with decks like that. So maybe if there is a Leroy deck, that becomes OTK, they might just be fine with it at this point. Because Mage does the same thing with Sif right now, essentially. And they've never done anything about it. I think OTKs from hand are fine, as long as, yeah, Odin as well. I think OTKs from hand are fine, as well as they're either like telegraphed or disruptive, or later in the game. Like if you're being OTK'd on turn 4 or 5 from hand, I don't think that's okay. If it's happening turn 8, 9, 10 plus, I think that's more reasonable. Like a few streams ago, I played an OTK warrior deck, and it really surprised me how strong it was. But that deck, you know, typically you were OTKing them on turn 8 or later. It's mostly because you just didn't have the mana to play all the cards you needed to play. What do you steal, by the way? The Spellstone. By the way, I think Odin is like an amazingly designed warrior card. I think it's so cool that with Odin Warrior, you know, you have the typical warrior gameplay where you're like armoring up and holding on and controlling the game. But then once you play Odin, it's like this turning part where, you know, you then go on the offensive, and I think it's really neat. It's just a very different like warrior play style. And there is some disruption for it, obviously. You know, Dirty Rat or other ways. But just not guaranteed. I don't think there should be 100% counter to any deck. But, you know, there's something at least. Not really any spell I need, because I'll just play Shadow Essence next turn. I'll just hold. This is working out better than I expected it to. I can only imagine, man, if you had Neptulon instead of Yashiraj, like how strong that would be. I bet he's upset that he burned that Vanish now. Okay. I don't think that does much. Man, we just shit on a few people with this deck.